Just do a couple of openings. Let's do a couple of openings.
You do it.
Well, you better say something. Okay. Well, I think you should say, welcome to Ricky Gervais show on or whatever podcast.
I'm not on this, am I?
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Well, just saying hello.
Hello?
No, let us do the introductions. We're doing 2 introductions in 2 shows. Fuck me.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Right, welcome again to the Ricky Gervais Show on this Guardian podcast with me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, and
Hello
of course, hello there.
Thanks.
And of course, our producer Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Carl, can I ask you a question?
Go on.
I know this is what a lot of the fans are already wondering. Is there going to be some monkey news today?
There's got to be.
Of course there is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's
All right.
a question.
Well, I don't want... I'm worried because maybe this will steal your thunder. But Sarah Greer has emailed this in, once again, emailed to podcast@rickygervais.com. Chimp mauling under investigation. I know you're concerned, because this actually fuses 2 of our greatest features, Monkey News and Knob News, into one seamless whole.
Oh.
Investigators said they are trying to figure out how 2 chimpanzees that viciously attacked a visitor at an animal sanctuary escaped from their cage. This is the grim bit. The chimps chewed off a man's nose and severely mauled his genitals and limbs.
Why did they go for his genitals?
Both of them did as well.
Eh?
Both of them. Did you say 2 chimps?
No, you're right, yeah, it was chimpanzees too. Yeah, I don't know if
See,
both
which
of them
one
went,
did it?
they just saw that they're dangling away and they
You
just
go
went,
for the nose?
Yeah.
I go for his bollocks.
I know
Now, what accent have they got there?
I
those
don't
chimps?
know.
Were they kind of New York gangster chimps? They're like soprano chimps.
What happened to him anyway?
What happened to what?
The 2 guilty monkeys.
Well, unfortunately, they were shot dead by the authorities.
You see, that annoys me a bit.
I know, but again,
What are you talking about? They're attacking people's gonads!
I know, but they were happy in an African jungle a couple of years ago.
That's what
Yeah,
they
but
do, isn't it?
That is what they do. That's what animals do. Animals fight. Do you remember when that bloke?
So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to let them just wander off into the I don't know, into the local mall and maybe savage some young children? Or a bucket with a face
No,
paint on
hang
it?
on.
No, all I'm saying is you don't shoot them for doing what's natural to them. They
Yes,
didn't
you
want
do.
Why?
If anything attacks anyone's balls...
No,
and
but why-
bollocks,
Well,
you attack 'em.
no, maybe they were shot during it. That you're allowed to shoot something that's doing something. But if they were they executed or were they shot in the attack?
No, it says he shot them. Well, he shot them to death. I'm assuming he shot them to death as they
That
were legging it
doesn't-
off.
But why aren't they just sort of tranquilised? Where was
Why
this?
have
Was
I
this
been
in a zoo?
accused like it was my fault? Just because I happen to be reading Sarah Greer, who emailed it in, the one who should be getting a
It
bollocking.
just annoys me how one way it's kind of like, you know, we're trying to save the pandas, and then the next day someone's shooting them or whatever. I know it's not a panda, but all I'm saying
So
is it's double
therefore, the whole
standards.
argument falls apart. But go on.
No, but what I'm saying is, what would happen? I've talked about this before about St. George killed the last dragon, right?
No, it didn't exist.
It's the same thing though.
No, there's never been any dragons.
No.
It's a mythical creature.
Well, you don't
By
know
mythical,
that.
it means we made this up, like the unicorn.
Well,
I don't even understand. What was your point about the dragon? What's that got to do with
because
this?
I'm saying how, like, why is it alright to be going around, going mental with a gun, shooting all the monkeys and killing them? Because one day we're going to run out.
What are you talking about? How have you extrapolated from this one incident of a couple of testy, happy
That's what
monkeys?
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. One incident. They only did it once. And they've got a bullet
But they're
in
not
their head.
shooting around and making them extinct, are they?
If they carry on like that, they will. But
Well, it's up to the monkeys to stop attacking people's private parts.
But
But
that's
that's
what
what give and take here.
No,
I'm
come
sorry.
on. That monkey doesn't know why it's in a cage. It's not going, oh, this is for my own good. It's like, even if it's animal husbandry, they're not sitting there going, well, I'll tell you what, let's stay here, because it's, you know, they're trying to do a nice little breeding programme here. Or we could get out and do what we do best, run amok, eat some bollocks, right, and have a good time. Right? They don't know what they're doing. They don't. And Carl's right. The poor little bastards get a bullet in the head.
For what?
And I'm saying, if they're attacking a human, shoot them to stop them, that's fine, okay? But if they're running away and they're, you know, don't shoot them in the back like a coward.
This is an animal sanctuary, though. So presumably they had quite a cushy time there, because most of the ones I've visited, they've always got it easy. They're
But
hanging
you
around
don't-
on tyres, they got comfy chairs, they're wanking, they're going berserk, they're loving it. So you know, you say that. I think I don't know. I just think there was something nasty. There was something a bit warped in these monkeys. I mean,
But hang on a minute, you've just answered your own question there. You said they're in a sanctuary, so they haven't had a good upbringing. So they're going to be a bit more, like, madder than other monkeys, aren't they? Because that's where the ill ones go, isn't it?
Sorry, what do you understand by sanctuary?
Well, I've been to one for seals.
It's not like a borstal.
Yeah, exactly. He thinks it's a borstal.
It's like scum.
Yeah, they did some bad stuff in the jungle, and they had a little monkey court, and they went, send him to borstal.
So, well, what is it then?
No, it's a monkey sanctuary where it like a haven.
Well, it's not a haven, is it? They've got a bullet in the head.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Talking of eating knobs,
Yeah.
Jilly Goulden. Now
What's she been up to?
Well, you saw it in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
I haven't been watching it.
She popped a little kangaroo knob in the mouth, chewed it up.
What, she just found it? Did she line around?
No, it was one of the things that she had to
Oh, it was
eat.
one of the challenges.
Carol Thatcher, you know, a daughter of one of our leaders.
Sure.
She popped a couple of bollocks in the mouth, chewed them up, swallowed them.
Oh.
And Jilly Goulden, there was a kangaroo penis there, dried. She couldn't even get. It was so tough, she couldn't even get through it. And then she, eventually, she eats
What was it, like a pepperoni?
Yeah, and she. What do you think of that, Karl?
What, eating that sort of stuff?
Yeah,
I watch it. I like those little trial bits, right?
yeah.
But what I don't think people realise is, right, it is hard eating a little kangaroo knob. Right?
Really? How'd you know?
No, it's just, you know, you think about it and you go, oh, I couldn't do that, right? But what they never mention on the TV programme, which I think takes it to the next level, right, they're eating that at like 7:30 in the morning.
Sure. Right.
Which
for
is
breakfast.
worse, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If I was there and Ant and Dec said, right, Karl, eat the knob, I'd go, hang on a minute, give us a few hours, let me get some rice and that on my belly, and just sort of fill me up a little bit more. I'll pop back at about 6:30 this evening,
Right.
have it ready. And I'd be happier then. It's just that thing of, you know,
You
you've been at
don't
the-
want to eat. You don't eat animal genitals on an empty stomach.
So what are you saying? You could
I'm saying, like, I could eat a knob at night, but
just cut that there. We'll loop that. If any DJs are listening,
No.
just take that quote. I could eat a knob at night by Karl Pilkington. Maybe do a dance remix.
Yeah,
Just
I think maybe you're sort of a house producer, and you could maybe get some kind of high energy beat going, and then we could just send that out to some of the gay clubs. I'm sure it'd be really popular.
Please, anyone send us, you know, that loop with a nice little, you know, funky house beat. Karl Pilkington saying I could eat a knob at night.
no, but
That's
do
go
you
on.
know what I mean, though? By that.
Not really.
Well, okay then, right. Okay. Now, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I couldn't pop a kangaroo testicle in my mouth and chew it. It was disgusting to watch. She was eating witchetty grubs. I mean, good on them because they were doing it. But then again, I think, well, they wanted to go in there. They knew they were up for it. So on the one hand, I think, is that admirable and is that showing sort of like good British metal, or is it, you know, I'll do anything to get on telly for a week? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't. Where does it stop? You know, I thought Rebecca Lewis went too far when she gave the little pig a tug, but at least she knew where to stop.
Yeah.
She didn't, you know.
Well, I think it's obvious when you have to stop.
Yeah, but you know,
The pig tells you that.
to you know, to pop the Also, again, where's the kangaroo hopping around without a cock?
I'll tell you, here's another question, right? Bit of a spin-off with animals and that. Have you ever, right, Steve, killed a fly?
Probably, yes.
Right? Well, I was watching David Attenborough, right? He makes his money out of flies and that, doesn't he? Do you think he's ever killed one, or does he go, well, I can't kill that fly or that spider, because that's how I make my money?
I don't know what the question is.
I don't know what this question is.
Like, my mum, right, she said, if a fly is knocking about the house, she never kills it, she always catches it and puts it out and that, and she said she'd never kill
Who is
one.
she, Mr. Miyagi? What do you mean she catches it? How does she catch
With
it?
a pair of chopsticks.
No, she...
Rick, it's that time again. It's what everyone's waiting for. Can you do the jingle for us?
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news.
Right, this week, the monkey news is about, you know, we all know, like, you know, there's monkeys knocking about that aren't happy in this country.
Sure.
Isn't they?
It is a big problem, yeah, it's an epidemic.
So they've set up, like, this sanctuary place.
Okay.
Where they all go. The ones that aren't happy in a zoo and what have you, it's getting them down.
They can phone a number and they'll come and pick them up.
Pop them in this house place, right? And basically, they can run riot in there.
Yeah.
To get freedom to sort of cheer themselves up. It's like, don't have a go at them. If they want to do such a thing, let them have a go and what have you, right?
Yeah.
there's 3 people running this place, right? And one of them...
Sorry, where is this place for wayward chimps who don't like the zoo? What are you talking about? A house where they can do what they want?
I'm not sure where it is.
That's a surprise. Go on.
But there's this place anyway. It doesn't matter where it is, does it, at the end of the day? I'm just telling you what the problem is. We haven't got to the problem bit yet.
Go on.
I'm just building up to it, right? So these monkeys, big house and that...
PlayStation, anything they want.
Gym, all that lot. Swimming.
Gym.
So, anyway, I'll cut to the chase, whatever. One of them wanted to mess about with the woman's breasts. Right?
Which woman's breasts?
The woman who works there.
Right.
Right? And she was like, right, pack it in, you know, we've all had a bit of fun. You've been in the gym and everything. She obviously, you know, got a bit excited and that. He was fired up and that, ready for some more action and that. He's trying to have a go on this woman's breast, right? She was like,
have a go.
She was like, no, you're not doing that. Pack it in and all that. The boss who's running the place was like, come on, let him have a go.
No, right, you're talking shit.
I'm telling you what, I know sometimes I step over the mark and they made
Right,
up.
so where is this place where... Well, 1, where is this house where chimps are allowed to do what they want? And 2, where is this place where one of the bosses, one of the human bosses, suggests to the other one, oh, and if the chimp wants to play with your tits, love, let the chimp play with his tits.
I've said before, Rick, will you please stop interrupting
No,
Miss
but listen,
News?
it's alright, Steve, because what I'll do, I'll bring the link and you can put the link on the website and people can have a look at the proper story. I'm just giving it them in a, like, headline form here. They can read the full thing.
No, you've only read the headline form.
I haven't read it. I sort of read like the first.
It was probably monkey feels a right tit, and you've extrapolated all this from that.
So anyway, right? So he's there, and he's,
so the boss says, "Yeah, you can have a go."
The boss is saying, "Let him have a go."
Come on, Rita. If monkey wants to play with nipples, let him.
So she's like, "I'm not happy with this," and he's going, "Come on, you know the rules here. We've got to cheer these monkeys up."
This is absolute.
We made it.
Actually, no, and in the end, because she didn't allow it to happen, the fella bloke sacked her, got someone else in. This isn't made up. I will put the link on the website and everyone can have a look at it, but basically...
I want to see the advert he put in the Guardian media page. I love that. Woman wanted to let chimp feel tits whenever it wants.
Well, it's all up there.
You're talking absolute shit again.
Well, we'll see.
That is no way that happened.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Do you know the other week when I came up with, like, a different idea of how we can sort of make the world run and that?
Can we just have a quick recap of that? Because I seem to remember it was a load of old arse.
It was ridiculous. It was, he was saying that the world is overpopulated, so the system would be where people were living too long and stuff. So what happens is, people live till 78, I don't know how you can enforce that, right?
Yeah.
But when they die, they've got a little baby in their stomach, like a pip in an apple, that then carries on when they die.
Right.
It wasn't a theory, it wasn't an idea, it was the ramblings of a mental case.
You're saying it's stupid, but someone's emailed in and said, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Good
Yeah,
play.
and okay, I'm asking you again. Was the letter written in shit?
Anyway, listen, right.
Did it say the mental home, Mars?
I've been thinking about it, right, and if we can't do that, right, if that's a no to that, right.
Well, it's not a question of whether we can do it or not.
Just saying, if that's a no, right, I've been thinking.
It is a no. This is going to be brilliant.
There's a lot of weird. I mean,
you could win the Nobel Prize for this.
But listen, there is a lot of ways in the world that some creatures and that go about sort of moving on. If you know what I mean.
Evolution, you mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, on that David Attenborough programme that he's doing at the moment, he's always showing you little insects and what they've got to do, and there was one about a wasp, right, that had to fly about, right, for ages, looking out for a certain type of spider, right?
It lays its egg in the
When
spider.
I saw it, it whizzes down, right? It lands on its back, so that he's got to get that right? It lands on it. I don't think the spider's up for anything. That isn't even aware of this is how things move about. He's not going, I've got to look out for a wasp. So all this is like, it's got to be perfect timing. So this wasp dived down, right, sat on the back of this spider, it injects it or something with a maggot or something, right? And then that maggot then lives off the spider for a bit. The spider knows it's got a maggot in it.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
And it's making a web for it. It goes, I've got something to look after here now. I've got responsibilities. It makes a web, right? It sort of reverses into it and puts the maggot on the web. The maggot sort of clings onto the web. Spider's there. Maggot eats the spider, and then it moves on. if I came up with that idea for like a method, you'd say that's never going to happen.
No, wait, Carl! It's not the fact that you came up with the idea, right, for an old lady dying at 78 with a baby growing in her that then lives on. It's nonsense. It's no idea. It's how can it be enforced? It's like, so even if scientists thought that was the best idea in the world, how would they enforce
but
it?
what I'm
Who's
saying
going to
is-
go, that's a good idea, we've never thought of that.
Yes, but what I'm saying
Get in
is,
Elsie.
Who told the wasp to look out for that spider, to go on its back, to do, you know...
What do you
We've
mean who
explained
told
this
the wasp?
before to
It's
you.
evolution, it's natural selection.
Yeah, but I can understand, you know, we've chatted about it before about giraffes having a long neck, but you're talking about a wasp and a spider who...
That's
as
because
far as
you're
I'm
attributing thought and will behind their behaviour. Behaviour in humans is linked with a free will.
Yeah, but most of what we do, say like how we have a kid at the moment, you don't just jump on the back of a woman and go, there you go, love, and then a baby pops out.
You do if you come from Bristol.
No, what I'm saying is, right, it's all, you build up to it, don't you? You have that bit of a chat and you go, right, how's it going? Yeah, and you get on and that, and then a little baby will come out.
This is the most. This is the most.
Wait. Well, I'm going to go back to the dating procedure there. You have a chat, you go alright, and then a little baby comes out. That's extraordinary.
This is amazing.
No, I'm
Man
sorry.
alive.
This
I'll tell
is
you-
incredible.
I tell you, two-bit radio's gain was secondary school's loss. It really
what
was.
I'm saying is...
This is my first Pilgrim
No.
book.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
What I mean is, we all get on. What I'm saying is, at what point is a wasp ever going to have a chat with a spider or meet up with it?
I don't even understand where we are now in this conversation.
What point is a wasp in ever have a chat with a spider? What world do you live in? What's in your head?
No, but-
I can't believe it. Carl, what point is a wasp ever going to have a chat with a spider?
So in some kind of weird insect nightclub, these wasps and these maggots are meeting, they're getting on. Is that how you're imagining
but
it?
that's what I'm saying to you. What
No,
are
but
the
it-
odds on that actually happening?
Listen. You're thinking because behaviour in lower forms of life is purely chemical. It's purely, it bypasses any form of consciousness. Right? There's a parasite. That's like a flatworm, a platyhelminth, or it might be a nematode. It's some sort of invertebrate.
off.
Yeah. That it lays its egg. The beginning of its cycle is in a stickleback. Okay, and it literally has to change the stickleback's behaviour. Okay, because it has to get into a warm-blooded animal to complete its cycle. So what it does is, this parasite makes the stickleback not flee from the shadow of a heron. So it makes the stickleback get eaten, right? So it then is in the belly of a warm-blooded animal and it can complete its life cycle. But at no point is the nematode or the platyhelminth, whatever it is, going, slow down, there's a heron coming, stay here, stay here, stay here. And the stickleback going, why? I don't want to stay, there's a heron. There's no conversation. It's not they get together and go, listen, I've got something that might be mutually beneficial to both of us. I need to get into a heron. You like to be eaten by a heron? No, I don't. Where's this conversation
Yes,
with a wasp?
you do. It's got Jedi
Yes,
powers.
you do.
No, all I'm saying is, you know, the idea that I came up with, you're sort of saying that's a crazy
Can I just,
not
sorry,
an
before
idea,
you
it's
carry on,
not
can I
an
just say,
idea.
how many times have we heard all I'm saying is, and
Yeah.
then such a stream of nonsense
Yeah.
that it's blown our minds?
No, but that's all I'm saying. That, you know, what you've just explained there with the heron having to knock about and for a flea to be sat in the shade and that.
Now see that is incredible. That translation of what I said is that sums it up for me.
Yeah.
He sees the headline, he reads a book, it then goes through this weird filtering system with, I imagine the music in his head is boop, beep, boom, ba, discordant piano. Like
I think the noise in Carl's head is like a fax machine, if you've ever got that at full volume.
I think it's like a Czechoslovakian cartoon from 1963.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, noises like, woks being hit.
Yeah.
And, pianos
anyway.
just being hit by elbow.
He's the only person you can give him a body of information, and he strips away the facts.
But the way he said that, I talked about, clearly talked about some sort of parasite in a stickleback that makes its behaviour change so it doesn't flee the heron's shadow. He said, so there's an heron with a flea who doesn't like the shade. How did it come up? I mean,
It doesn't matter, forget that, right? But
What's
anyway,
your theory? What's your theory?
What I'm saying is I've come up with something else that I want to run by you then.
Go on
right?
then.
So you've sort of boo-booed the idea
Boo-booed.
We've boo-booed it. We have boo-booed it.
of
He shows a completely different bear. It was originally Poo-Poo the bear, but now it's Boo-Boo the bear. Brilliant.
So you've said no to, you know, the old woman having a kid, right,
Yeah.
before she dies. What about if we do it the other way, right?
Ah.
Go on.
Somehow, I don't know how
A
yet.
kid has an old lady?
That's what it's going to be, isn't it? A child that gives birth to an old man.
No.
Right.
What I'm saying is, right,
Go on.
work the other way round.
Come on then.
So if somehow we can inject something in like a body that's just died, right?
Listen to this. Imagine this is notes.
So-
when he hands it into the Nobel people,
Yeah.
and they go, if there's a way that we can inject something, and they go, well, what? Well, I don't know the chemical formula, but something HO2.
Right. So anyway, so you inject it in the temple.
He's narrowed it down to the temple.
Well, that's
Fine.
right.
Yes, we inject something.
So you inject it in.
Who are you injecting?
This old woman who's she's been ill and that, she died.
So she's dead. So
Yeah,
we're
but you-
we're
yeah.
bringing old people back to life. Okay, fine. That's step one. We just got to sort that out first. But fine, we'll crack that. Go on, next. So we brought people back from the dead. Fine.
Yeah,
And
but
next.
this is a way of controlling population. Remember, they
Sure.
can't be having it away and having kids. This is just the way we're going to
Okay,
work
so
from now.
there's an old lady. So we start now. We start now as the world is now. So what happens?
Right. So you get like an old woman.
Who's dead?
Yeah.
Yep.
Injector and that.
Injector.
And then what happens is she sort of wakes up.
Amazing.
Right. And she works the other way. So like she might be 77,
Yep.
and then she'll have a birthday. She's 76, and she's working that way.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Are you with me?
No, keep it.
Because the thing is, you've got.
No
I'm
idea.
really scared.
Yeah.
I'm really scared. This is the maddest thing you've ever said.
Yeah.
This is madder than the old lady with the pip like an apple in her belly.
It sort of did work.
This is
No, it didn't work. It worked in your head. It's like a dream that you wake up and go, oh, I've got a great theory. And
This
it's
is
like,
this is it. Let me just tell you the
Go on then.
ending, because the endings works out a bit better.
go on.
What I'm saying is, when you die at the age of
78.
9 months,
What?
at the age of 9 months, because that's when you come out.
What do you mean when you die at the age of
You're
9?
not scared of dying because you're now a baby, so you don't know what's going on anyway. So there's no fear.
So you missed out a bit here. So this woman, what, literally gets younger and younger?
I think
Yeah.
when she's in her 20s, she's in her old age, Rick.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because that's the fun part of your life, isn't it? When you're 20 and you've got all your energy and that. So before you die, you're actually having a good life rather than it being the other way around.
But does she do different stuff than she did on the way up? Because she's already lived 78 years, hasn't she? Don't forget. She was a baby once, and she grew to 78 years, then someone stuck a needle in her head and said, right, back you go.
No, but forget all that bit.
Oh, forget all that bit. How do we
okay.
forget that bit?
What I'm saying
So
is...
she died and she doesn't remember all her... This is a new life, is it?
Let me just leave you with this.
Right, you're talking shit. Explain yourself.
What I'm saying is, old people are scared of dying. When they're 77, they're going, oh, what's going to happen to me? Little injection in the head. When it's a baby, when it's like 1, and everybody around it's going, yeah, it's going to die soon and that. Baby hasn't got a clue, it's happy. It's playing about with its rattle or whatever.
So it loses
not
all
scared.
its... So it loses all its memories.
That's it.
And then what happens? So when does it die? When it gets to naught? When it's 0 days old? It goes
Yeah,
through...
it just dies. People know, it's almost like a countdown. So the family's aware of it.
But aren't the family getting younger as well? What's happened to the family?
Forget
I
it
don't-
then, we'll leave it as it is.
No, leave it as it is, shall we?
Shall we? Can we all agree on that, guys? Now, should we agree to leave it as it is? Is that all right? Because I don't want to hear any more from the diaries of Charles Manson.
No, it's. I mean, you're a fucking maniac.
If you're a maniac and you'd like to get in touch, then please email us at podcast@rickygervais.com. Doing a bit of Christmas shopping, Rick, the other day, and I was travelling around on the tube, the London Underground, the subway system for our American friends, And, you know, as you know, but people around the world may not be so familiar, there's a recorded voice that you sometimes get on the tube that says, mind the gap.
Oh yeah, before you open the door.
Yeah.
Mind the gap.
And the reason is that sometimes in some stations there is a gap between the train and the platform, and obviously, you know, theoretically you could fall down
And it's
there or
different
whatever.
sizes, so just that little reminder, mind the gap. You look down, it's safe.
Just makes you stop. Seems to make sense.
Yeah.
Saw a kid, teenager, wearing a t-shirt, don't know where he bought it. It just said, fuck the gap.
He was tired of it.
Yeah,
he
but-
didn't want to mind the
But
gap.
what I like is, what's he protesting about?
I don't
You know what I
know.
mean? It's not the police or the man keeping you down. That's just good, sensible health and safety information.
That's like
You know?
saying fuck looking both ways before I cross the road.
Screw penicillin.
I know.
Just, no, do you know what? I'm gonna drink and I am gonna use threshing machinery. And I don't give a damn. It's, I love that about teenagers, that kind of, screw you sort of mentality, but not, it's kind of blind, isn't it? It just, anything's a target, anything's valid.
When I was a teenager, I think maybe 17, I had a t-shirt. I was rallying against just stuff, really. It was slightly more abstract than the gap. I wasn't specifically against the gap. It just said bullshit. Just in general, bullshit.
You were raging against the machine.
I would just go, yeah, people say, hey, what are you, I just open my, I go, bullshit, alright? Just bullshit.
But I assume that these forms of protest have never made any dent in anything in the world. Because I remember when there was all these protests against the war, a couple of months back, and there was one guy, so there was a huge march in London, as you know, and they did these all around the world, didn't they? But there was hundreds, thousands of people in London. There was one guy, he was riding around on a 3-wheeled bike, wearing a jester's hat, blowing a horn. That was his form of protest against the war.
Was it like, what sort of horn was it?
It was one of those sort of hunting horns.
Well, he was showing him, he was saying, this is what I believe.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't change people's opinions, I don't know what will.
But I like the idea of Bush, yeah, just about to invade Iraq, and just the news comes through from his chief of staff.
And then Bush goes,
George.
what is it? What is it? What?
No, listen, no, seriously, we've got some information coming in from London.
Go on.
I know you're thinking of invading Iraq.
Definitely,
but,
yeah, why?
Well, let's just think about it, because there's
Go
a
on.
guy riding around on a 3-wheeled bike.
Oh.
He's not got the regular 2, he's gone for 3 wheels. So...
Okay, well listen, what's he wearing?
I don't want to tell you what he's wearing, he's just...
What's he wearing on his head? Just
He's
tell me
just
what-
wearing, he's wearing a jester's hat. So-
Okay, no, well, calm down, it's not that bad. It's not gonna change my opinion about...
He's blowing a horn.
Okay, get the troops out. Get the troops out now. What do
It's
they think they're
pointless.
doing?
You've got to get involved in the... I saw a girl once again, a teenage girl. I was behind her on the tube, and she had this bag, like a rucksack, and it was kind of black, and it had painted in Tipex. It had a picture of George Bush, but he was kind of in the sights of a rifle, you know, and it sort of said "Stop the War," and it had a Barbie's head, but it was severed, and the hair was scraped back, and she'd been made up to look kind of devilish, and there was sort of CND signs, and there was, you know, "No to war" and all this, and and I sort of wanted to tap her on the shoulder and say, are you actually getting involved in stopping the war, or have you been working mainly on this bag?
Yeah,
Because that must have taken you at least a couple of days. Where you could have been writing emails, you could have been getting a petition going.
Oh dear.
Karl, have you ever been into that sort of teenage rebellion, teenage protest?
Well, to sort of stop stuff going on and that.
Yeah. Or just, you know, making your views heard.
I don't really like people knowing what I'm thinking and that.
Right.
There's no way anyone can know what you're thinking.
No, but
even
Is
with
that why you're doing a radio
experimentation.
show where you spout off your nonsense ideas every week?
No, but what I mean is,
A team of surgeons could fiddle around in your head for a couple of days and they still wouldn't know what you were thinking.
No,
I
but-
know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Exactly. You're thinking of... you're thinking, could a monkey ever be president? At this moment, aren't you?
But I don't like anyone that, like, all those badges that you're talking about, like, you know, Save the Whale and all that. I don't like the idea that when I get on a tube and someone sees that, they sort of know that I want to save the whale. I don't like people knowing, even to the point of...
It gives you a disadvantage in life, doesn't it?
But just knowing stuff like, when you get on a tube and say if you've been shopping, right, and you've had to buy an ironing board, I hate it that people sort of look at what you've got and go, oh, he's doing some ironing.
Right, okay. That's got to be rare. I mean, you can't have bought more than 5 or 6 ironing boards in your adult
but
life.
I don't mean just ironing boards. I mean, like, anything big where they can't wrap it, so they just put a carrier bag round a little bit of it, and everyone can see what you've just
It's
bought.
weird because I bought an ironing board last week from Argos, and I did feel a little bit self-conscious.
There you go.
Because I thought people thinking, he's 30, why hasn't he got an ironing board yet?
Yeah.
No wonder he's a scruffy
I
bastard.
pretend I'm going surfing whenever I buy an ironing board. I just make sure I go in Bermuda shorts and sunglasses, and I just walk down the street
'Cause I
and I go, surfing USA, and they think, hey, there's a dude going to the beach. I pop on a bus to go and do some ironing.
Yeah. Wait a minute, what's that on his t-shirt? Bullshit. He's radical. I get still faintly embarrassed buying toilet paper.
Yeah. I always have to buy something else to go with it.
Yeah.
I don't like, because if you just
A
buy that on its
newspaper.
own, if you buy it on its own, it's obvious that
you're off for
you're
a
dying
shit,
for
yeah.
one,
Yeah.
and it's like, I haven't got any in.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just chuck it in with a pot noodle, it's like, well, he's eating and he's thinking about later. Whatever. But
Yeah,
it's
if you
that-
buy it on its own, you know that you've got none in the house and you've just rushed across the street to get some.
Definitely.
'Cause especially if you're still in your slippers.
Well, that's about it for another podcast, and a new one in a week's time after Christmas. So, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Have an absolutely blinding Christmas.
Or a lovely whatever festival you celebrate in your part of the world. From Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Karl Pilkington.
If you want to send us anything, as ever, the email address is podcast@rickygervais.com. You can email just your thoughts on the show, if you've got some monkey news for Karl, or anything you think might intrigue Karl, or indeed maybe just some Christmas wishes. Then that's the email address, podcast@rickygervais.com.
I would like to wish a particularly Merry Christmas to those guys at Positive Internet for all their genius input and good work hosting this podcast. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas.
Hi, Ricky Gervais here, with me Steve Merchant
Hello there, alright?
and Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Yeah, welcome to the fourth podcast in the series of 12. It's after Christmas now, that's it for another year. Alright, everyone had a nice Christmas?
Oh, yeah, I had a blinder. I had an absolute blinder, mate.
Good presents, Karl?
Yeah, not bad, yeah.
Get anything good? Odds and
Not,
ends.
not that I can think of.
Odds and
Just
sods.
bits and bobs.
Yeah. A friend of mine got a gift, or rather gave it as a gift. I don't know if you've been familiar with these. It's a charity organisation, and you go on their website, or you phone them up, and you can give someone else the gift of, say, a goat for an African family. So you say, this is what I've bought goat. And they go, oh, brilliant, where is it? And you go, no, it's going to a family in Africa. And it's a sort of goodwill thing, you know what I mean?
So
People's-
you buy an African family a goat
that will help them for years.
And it's
to come.
like you're saying, well, I would have bought you a present.
Yeah.
But
I've used that money wisely.
Yeah, so it's almost like they've given
Exactly.
the present. They've given the goat.
Yeah, it's a beautiful idea. But as soon as he told me about it, I thought to myself straight away, knowing Karl's views on charity and giving, you know,
Yeah.
particularly at this seasonal time,
Yeah.
I wondered what his views would be.
Well, are they happy with the present over there? Like the people who are getting it?
What, the African family?
Yeah. Is the African family sort of going, oh, I hope someone gets us a goat?
That's nothing to do with Christmas for them. They're not sitting around thinking, I wonder if Santa brings us some food. It's a long-term thing. These are happening all year, I assume. It goes towards a pool of money that goes to... It's not like they get a... You're an idiot. What, you think an African family wakes up and there's a little goat with a ribbon tied round it, and they go, oh, look what Santa brought us.
Look, and that mince pie's gone and that glass of milk.
You're such an idiot.
No, but what I'm saying is, does that family want a goat?
Yes.
But why?
It's
when
not they want a goat, it's they need a goat. Do you think... What
Alright,
do you
forget
think
it.
this organisation is?
Just arbitrarily giving goats to
They're
people.
going to say, oh, I wanted Nintendo. What are you
But
thinking?
what I'm saying is, right, let me put myself in their shoes. Well,
This'll be
they
a
haven't got
first.
any. But say I'm one of them, right, over there, right? I'm hungry, right? I'm sat there, it's Christmas Day, right? I open it up, open the present, little goat there, right? Now, if I was one of them, I'd be going, not another mouth to feed. At the end of the day, there isn't enough food to go round for themselves, never mind a goat. Don't they say, like, having a dog and that is quite expensive? Sometimes they say, you know, what with all the injections you've got to give it, the food, the tinned food and everything, it mounts up. And what I'm saying is, that's all very well giving them a goat, who's looking after it?
Well, I'm assuming it's all above board. The goat's had its injections. That's what some of the money goes towards. It's given to them so they can milk it, and have milk and cheese and whatever. I don't think it's a burden. What is this? What do you mean? They wake up Christmas Day and open a present. It's not like
so
that.
there's a thing. There's a goat-shaped thing in wrapping paper. I wonder what that could be. I hope it's that goat we asked for. Oh my God, it is.
All I'm saying
It's just a nice marketing way of distributing wealth. It's the way of going, this is a nice gift. It's like people sometimes they say, don't send flowers at a funeral. They don't send flowers. Give some money to the local hospice. Yeah. It's just a way of redirecting cash.
But the thing is, why do they want that goat? What's the main reason? What does a goat give you?
Milk.
Right. Now, wouldn't it be easy to just send them a bottle of milk? Without all the hassle and the headaches that come with it. That's all I'm saying. And the other thing is, think about the goat. That was happy over here. Suddenly, it's on barren land. No grass.
I'm gonna burst! What do you mean?
You didn't send a goat from here.
I'm saying, who's happy at the end of this, right? You've got a fella who hasn't got a present over here because the mate bought him a goat, right? So yeah, let's do this properly. So there's a tick. He's not happy, right? Then, you've got the person who's opened it, who, like you said, wanted something else, right? It's a goat. They go, who's going to look after this, right? So tick, they're not happy. And then you've got the goat going, what am I doing here?
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Tell you what, a lot of people are wondering, Karl, is what I received from Ricky this year.
Go on.
Nothing! Absolutely nothing. I remember actually after my birthday he said, oh yeah, I'll be getting you a little gift. Forgot. So I've had nothing from him this year. He's got a little bit of cash in his pocket now. What I'm hoping is that maybe he'll pool it over the next 5 years and buy me something I've been reading about recently. Now, you definitely love this, surely. Have you started seeing this now? Virgin are starting plugging Virgin Galactic. I think it's something like 200,000 quid, and you'll get a chance to go in a space shuttle into space. Now, I don't know what your feelings are, Rick. You know, I know you've probably got a bit of cash in the bank.
Honestly, I was thinking of giving you another signed extras DVD.
Anything. It's the thought that counts, so that would be great. But
I've got some knocking round. I can give you one of those. I know you've already got one of those, but
sure.
I don't mind. They don't cost me much.
No, great.
And do you like the book Flanimals?
I know it's aimed at 5-year-olds, so I don't know why I personally would want it, but
you know that's going to be in the little selection box for you.
Great.
But no, the trip into space. I don't know about that.
I mean, you've got a bit of cash. Would you think about that? Would you be interested, you and your missus, going up into space?
I don't know. You have to be. I mean, it's not the money. There are things that I would spend 200 grand on as a little folly, but I think an individual jetpack, for example.
Right.
You know, I'd do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the Earth from a couple hundred miles up. That'd be good, but I don't know if that's quite worth it yet. The other thing is the safety, because I'm worried that I want to see a lot of people go up there first.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be the first bloke to go on an aeroplane.
No.
I'd want to see a few pioneers go. It's really safe before I got on something like that.
Well, I believe the actress Victoria Principal is volunteering herself. So I think she maybe used to be in Dynasty or Dallas. So,
well, I'll see what happens to her.
Yeah.
If I think if she can do it, then
no. If Vicky P comes back all right, rather like those monkeys they sent up years ago, then we'll all be a lot more relaxed.
Exactly. If they put electrodes on her and it all works out fine.
And there'll be a banana, chute issuing bananas, and there'll be buttons. Press left, press right.
Yeah, and I might consider it. Karl, thoughts?
Going to space? No. It's not worth it.
Why? Wouldn't it be a fascinating experience to go into space and look back at the Earth?
There's now out there, though, is there?
There. Say that again.
Well, there's now out there, though, is there?
Right.
I mean, at what point are you all meant to be happy? Do you know what I mean? You're floating about up there, and because you don't get out, do you?
What, you mean to do some duty-free shopping?
I'm just talking, you don't go floating about, do you? You stay in your seat.
Well, they probably let you move around on the shuttle.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about getting out. For me, when you go on
you want
holiday,
to get out into space?
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. When you go on holiday, the flight bit isn't the best bit of the holiday, is it? That's the bit you've got to do. So what I'm saying is you've got to stay on this, and then you go back home. So you don't take luggage, right? I don't see the point.
Right, so you're there, you're sat in your own clothes for the whole time, same clothes the whole time.
But I don't understand what is the point.
I think it's the view. I think it's two things. I think it's the view and being able to be part of an exclusive club. I went into space. It's all that thing about man conquering nature, and you're one of that elite few that have managed to pop up, see the world from a distance that no one else can see it from, and then pop down. You know, that's it. Of course, yeah.
So you all that way just for the view?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? I mean, there's a lot of other places I haven't seen anyway, right, before I think about that. I think if you've done everywhere... I haven't been to Scotland yet, right?
Right, yeah.
I'm not being funny, but do you know what I mean? So, just have a look in your back garden before you go looking in someone else's.
In space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What would make it a trip worthwhile for you? I mean, if you did go into space, if we gave it to you free of charge, we said, Karl, go up into
I know
space.
the answer. I know the answer to this, Steve. He's thinking, I'd like to meet some aliens that can talk like I do,
Yeah.
and I can understand them, and they can tell me something. Like what? Oh, they met God, he was alright. That's the sort of thing, that's what he's gonna say. He'd like them to look like monkeys in spacesuits.
Yeah.
That'd be his ideal thing. He'd like to go to the planet of the
He'd
apes.
like to go to the planet of the apes.
He
Yeah, I was
would
doing that.
love
They
to
could
go
arrange
to
that.
Look, he's nodding. He's
Yeah.
nodding. Thoughts, Karl?
Yeah. I mean, for me...
What do you
it's
mean,
just-
yes?
Well, yeah, that'd be brilliant.
What would be brilliant?
Seeing a little alien and that, having a chat with him, finding out what's been going on.
What's been going on?
No, but don't you think that... Like, I mean, if you bought me that as a present, right,
Yeah.
either of you,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be that happy. For me, that's a little bit like...
Well,
Those-
that's annoying because we've got you a trip
We
to
just
space
pulled
and a
together.
goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how, like, I am interested in sort of going on another planet, right? Not,
Karl, you are on another planet, mate.
no, but do you know what I mean? It would be quite sort of interesting.
How do you think you'd get there?
Well, yeah, you'd go on a rocket and stuff, but what I'm saying is, at least you know when you get there, you're getting out, you're having a bit of a wander. But I wouldn't be happy in just the journey bit of it. That's all I'm saying.
That's great, isn't it?
But the thing is, right? Because I was looking into it a bit because I was reading about the Virgin Atlantic
Yeah.
thing, right? And I was reading something that in 1971, right? 3 of them went up there. Can't remember the names. Wasn't the main one. It wasn't like the Buzz and the Armstrong one and that. Another 3 blokes went up, and there was one bloke in the rocket, right? The other 2 wandered off, had a walkabout, seeing what rocks they can find and that. And that bloke who was in the rocket, right? He was the loneliest man ever in the world.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know if that's some sort of profound poetry or I don't. Do you know what I think he's trying to say? I think he's trying to say that he was. What are you trying to say?
No, stop for a minute, because I just want to just recapture that moment. Just say that again, that sentence again.
Right. The other 2 had gone off picking up rocks,
Yeah.
right? He sat on his own in the rocket, and he was the loneliest man in the world.
Okay, I know what he's trying to
know what he
say.
means.
I do, right.
I don't know what he means.
Well, right. He's trying to say he was, by definition, a human furthest away from all other human contact.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I said.
Yeah, okay. No, you said loneliest. Loneliest evokes an emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like he started crying and writing poetry and listening to Morrissey records.
You mean he was the most remote man?
Well, yeah, he was saying how, like, he's on the rocket on his own, right?
Yeah.
And I think I worked it out because it was in kilometres, right? And I think it turned out that they, right, the other 2 spacemen picking rocks and that, they were 2,500 miles away from him, right? So they were miles away. They
2,500 miles.
Yeah.
But they had each other.
They had each other.
Yeah.
You had the world right across the other way. Everyone getting on with their lives.
Yeah.
He was on his own. That's weird, isn't it? But what I was thinking is, right? Say, because I always sort of try and put myself in a situation.
Yeah.
When I hear about a weird thing that's gone on, I always think, what would I do? You know what I mean? And I was thinking about it, right? Do you think when he got up in the morning, he still bothered to put his clothes on?
That's the first thing that came into your mind
No,
when
just
you
because
pictured him
I
in
always,
there.
you know, at the end of the day, even if, like, my girlfriend Suzanne's out at work and that, I'm not happy walking about with everything out, because you never know what's going to happen.
What do you mean, like getting it trapped in the microwave?
Well, I just mean, you know, you never know if someone's going to turn up.
No, I don't like what I don't like. No, I always pop some pants on or a towel, even if I'm
not
alone.
always. Because I've knocked on your door when you've been stood there with.
No, he's taking
but
his trousers off.
I did it especially, knowing
right.
that you were there. I've done it especially to annoy you.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so.
But do you know what I mean? Do you think he was walking about the rocket with his tackle out, or
Or
did he
floating
go,
about,
well, you know, no one's watching here?
Do you reckon it floats up or down?
Depends
in
how long it
space.
is, doesn't it?
Depends how long it is, yeah.
I don't know what I mean by that, but that seems to make sense.
Yeah.
But don't they have cameras for NASA to monitor what's going on inside the spaceship?
Not all the time. No, I bet they've got to give him some sort of privacy.
No, that would end up on the internet.
Yeah.
Him floating around with his floaty knob.
Well, if you are the man who was up in a space rocket and was for a short period the loneliest man in the world, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what you did with your time, how lonely you felt, and also did you float around with your cock and balls out? What was that like? Did it float up or did it float down? These are just some of the questions that we'd like. So if you are that person, or maybe you know them, maybe they're a neighbour of yours, then you can get in touch with us at podcast@rickygervais.com.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
We've done radio and stuff in the past, Rick, and we have never had the kind of response that we've had from these podcasts. I mean,
It's
people
amazing.
are emailing in by the hundreds of thousands. It's meant, well, maybe not hundreds of thousands, but I didn't count them, but thousands, certainly. Crazy amounts of email. I couldn't really get through them. I've just managed to pick out a few.
It's because it's global now. It's people all around the world are listening, and that's so exciting. We've got just loads from America, Australia. It's mad.
Yeah, New Zealand, Canada, and these are just some of the ones that I've pulled out from the email because there's so many of them. Podcast@rickygervais.com if you want to get in touch. Rob says he listens to the show in his exams, which I'm sure cannot be a good idea. I mean,
No, because that's a waste. What I'd do is the night before, I'd record all the answers and then listen to that, as
Yeah.
opposed to me, you, and Karl Pilkington.
but surely you're not allowed to listen to your stereo or your iPod in an exam. That would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Well, he's probably got it's probably up his back,
Right,
a little
yeah.
wire, wired to him, covered in sort of like some sort of fake flesh and
Yeah.
hair, and then just pops into his ear.
It's all changed now, though, isn't it, as well?
What do you mean?
Well, they're allowed calculators and that, innit? It's just sort of.
Sorry, I had calculators in my exams. What
Yeah.
what world?
What do you know about exams, Carl?
No,
You
but-
never showed up.
But what I'm saying is, years ago, a calculator wouldn't have been allowed. We've moved on a bit now, haven't we?
What year was this
I don't
though?
have an iPod.
With loads of people with abacuses.
I don't know.
Anyway, Rob's question was this. Brilliant.
I've never heard him admit that before. I think we've broken his
Yeah,
spirit.
yeah.
Carl, you go. I don't know. Oh no, we might have put an end to the phenomenon that is Karl Pilkington.
Monkey news still to come.
He's back.
Anyway, listen. Rob's question is this, Carl, and it's specifically to you. Carl, if you could have a superpower, like Superman, what would your superpower be?
Can I suggest consciousness?
Yeah.
Can I have the power of thought?
Remember, you've already got opposable thumbs. Cross that one off the list.
Oh, go on, Carl.
Now, there's so many to choose from. Telepathy, X-ray vision.
Flight, invisibility,
Choose it wisely.
strength, intelligence.
But why have I been picked?
Oh, for God's sake!
No, but I'm just saying.
It's Rob's question
No,
for
no,
you.
But I'd just say, does anyone else want this? Or, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
No,
what
just-
do you
because-
wish you
no,
could do that's
no,
impossible is the
because-
question,
no, because-
or out of what? What do you mean?
Because with that comes a responsibility. is what
With
I'm saying.
enormous power does come great responsibility.
So would it? Would you like Spidey senses? Is that what you're saying? Would you like some senses? Would you like some sense? The power of sense.
Come on, Carl. You know what these superheroes because they can.
I know, but it
they can
always
freeze things.
They're
they-
never happy, are they? Do you know what I mean? Spider-Man that wanted to tell that girl that he could climb walls and that. He's like, I can't. Superman didn't never tell Lewis and that.
Who's Lewis? Who's Lewis?
Lewis.
Who's Lewis?
It's just a pen pal of Superman's.
Lewis, his little secret chum. Yeah. All right, Superman. Hello, Lewis. What are you doing? Superman. Who are you? I can't tell you, Lewis. Brilliant.
You know, Hulk. He wasn't happy. So
But you're being allowed to choose the superpower. You don't have to get it forced upon you like the Hulk.
Hulk, he wasn't happy. It's true. He's got a theme.
True.
He has got a theme. There's not many happy superheroes, are
But
there?
leaving aside the superheroes you're already aware of,
Yeah.
what superpower would you want? You don't have to fight crime with it, Carl.
Everyone around the world now is thinking, what can Karl choose? Let's deliver it to him now, Karl. Think about it and give us the answer, please.
Let me just remind you of some of the other things. Invisibility.
All the time, though, or can I sort of turn that on and off?
Let's say you could turn it on and off. Would that interest you?
Yeah. I'll have that.
Right. Okay, and what would you do with this power of invisibility?
Just sort of wander about and just not get seen.
It's a brilliant power! It's a brilliant... And it's put to such brilliant use! It's brilliant! Well done!
And why would you want to walk around and not be seen in that? What would you gain from that?
Don't know, you could sort of go in shops when they shut, so you don't have to go with
How
the
would you get
crowds.
in?
Just get in just before they lock up.
Oh, yeah! How would you get out?
Wait till the morning.
Brilliant.
So, hang on. So, that's your use of invisibility. They found the power of invisibility. You want to sneak into... Never mind. No, hang on, you want to sneak into HMV, right, wait for 12 hours, and then buy something.
I love it!
Just so that you don't have to be in there with other people.
Do you know what? I don't want it. I don't want a power.
Why not?
Because I just don't think it'll do me any good. I think it's more of a hindrance.
I love this! It's like, just think of his presents. We've given you a trip into space, and the chance to be invisible.
Not happy with any of them.
Yeah, what he wants is a voucher for HMV.
Yeah, he just wants some tokens for a record shop. Just going through a few more of these emails. This one is from David. He's in Los Angeles, California, 22 years old. He says he loves the show, but he says, with respect to Karl, never before have I understood so little of what a man says. Virtually everything that Karl talked about was aloof to me. What on earth was he ranting about? Flies and condoms, monkeys and pushing the left button, cavemen and dinosaurs. And that's just some of you. I mean, let's be honest, if you are in America, I mean, firstly, the accent is probably a problem.
But that is the best write-up we've ever had.
Yeah. Flies and... Imagine if you're a new listener, flies and condoms. What on earth does that mean? This one's from Kent Plummer from Nova Scotia, Canada. He says, Karl, he's wondering if you've got any personal mantras that you could pass along. For instance, he reminds us of Ben Franklin's famous mantra, waste not, want not.
Who said that?
Ben Franklin.
What did he do? What was his job?
Benjamin Franklin was a well-respected American politician from the 1800s. He was a sort of thinker, a philosopher, a scientist, deeply respected. Also a big political figure. He features on the dollar bill or the $10 bill or something. Yeah. So he's one of the great sort of American Enlightenment thinkers. Right. And he came up with the mantra, waste not, want not.
You must know waste not, want not. I mean, that's just...
Do you understand the phrase waste not, want not?
No, not really, no. What does it mean?
You've never heard that?
I think I've heard it, but I don't know. I've never used it. But when someone else said it, I don't know what...
Well, in context, I mean, all I'm going to do now is paraphrase that and put some prepositions and stuff in it for you. I can't work out how you can't work out what that means. It's like, don't throw stuff away, because you might need it, and therefore... You won't be wanting anything because you didn't throw it away. So,
so he was a bit of a hoarder.
Well, if you don't waste food, for instance, then you
He's a bit of a hoarder!
For God's sake.
No, but I'm just saying, you know, he's a man in power. Is that the best thing he ever said?
No, I'm sure he came up with many, many profound things.
Why is that one
he did
remembered?
Experiments in electricity and conducting electricity, all sorts.
But that impresses me more, inventing electricity, than someone...
He didn't invent electricity.
Wait a minute! That impress you more than what?
Just saying, waste not, want not. I don't think it's that good. It's not even catchy. What I don't understand is why he was the first person to sort of suggest, look, don't go chucking that out, keep it, you might need it later.
He wasn't the first person.
Say that again. That is brilliant. Why hasn't that catch on? That is amazing that you've just come up with there. That's poetry. How would you word it?
I'd just say, whoa, don't be chucking that out, you might need that later.
Don't be chucking that out, you might need that later. Karl Pilkington.
Whereas some would argue
2005.
that waste not, want not is perhaps a little bit more pithy, a little bit more...
We should go through great sayings and phrases and say
See if he
Karl,
can, well, firstly, does he know what they mean? And then secondly, can he improve them?
that would be brilliant.
Well, we'll make it. We'll do that next time.
Let's see. Okay, Winston Churchill. Never have so few done so much for so many. What do you think of that? How would you? Do you know what that means?
So he's saying...
Well, it's with regard to the Battle of Britain and the pilots that gave their lives.
Yeah, I'd just be annoyed if I was one of them who gave a lot for a few or whatever, right?
No, gave a lot for so many. You were,
Yeah,
if you were
well,
one of those few
yeah, if
that
I-
gave so much for so many, i.e., it means these few good men, their actions freed the world. They freed the world. They have an impact on
Yeah.
every person in the world, and they
Brilliant,
were few
yeah.
brave men. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what he's saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if I was one of them men who gave up his life, right, I'd want a name check. I don't want to be bungled in with everyone else who is saying a load of blokes gave it their lives. Well done and that. See you later.
That's brilliant.
Did you just say bungled in?
Yeah, bungled in. Yeah.
He made up a word.
I don't want to be bungled in.
You made up a word. See, that's it, you see, we've been looking for it. That's original, that's Karl Pilkington. I don't want to be bungled in.
Email here, Rick, from a man I know you're going to look forward to meeting one day. Paul, the party animal parker.
He's
I imagine
back.
he had a wild Christmas.
Oh, well,
imagine
I
the
don't-
fun he got up to.
He's sitting now in sunglasses with his mum giving him some soup because he's partied too hard.
And I'll tell you this, I wish I was round there for New Year. Imagine
no.
what he's going to get up to. Him and his
Oh,
mum.
if he recovers in time, it's going to be mental. What's he want?
Anyway, Paul the Party Animal Parker, he sent in a fact. That seems to be his thing now. He sends in facts that he thinks might be of interest to us. The kiss that is given by the bride to the groom at the end of the wedding ceremony originates from the earliest times when the couple would actually make love for the first time under the eyes of half the village. Now,
Wow.
a couple of questions straight away. Firstly, this is almost like a Karl fact.
Yeah.
Because there's no specific time or place. It was
No.
earliest times.
Earliest
I don't
times.
know whether that means the wedding ceremony in this country, in America, in Africa, who knows?
Yeah.
But, so, yeah, it's a little bit vague. But this was the thing that struck me. Actually make love for the first time under the eyes of half the village. And you wonder, why is it only half the village? Was it like, were they raffling off tickets?
Yeah, the winners. Yeah, exactly.
You come and see two people getting it on. The rest of you, no, tickets only. It's cordoned off.
It started off, and then a few of them got bored.
Exactly.
I mean, once you've seen one stroke, you've seen them all. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about as good as it gets. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if there's any truth. But what about that, Kai? How would you feel with that if you had to?
At what point does that happen? Is that like, they go, right, I do. Get your knickers off.
Well, presumably, if it's the origins of the kiss, you may kiss the bride. The old vicar used to say, as they were jumping over the broomstick, he used to go, right, give her one.
Yeah.
And then...
You may knob the bride. Don't know how quick the lovemaking has to be, whether you've got to get in and out, boom, and then, you know what I mean? Because people are hungry, they want to eat, they want to have a disco, or whether they can go on for hours and people are just eating,
Oh,
chatting.
I'll tell you what, Sting's wedding must have
to go
been
on
a
for
long
hours.
affair, wasn't it? The guest was going, bringing in their
People
own
brought
cake.
sleeping bags. Thermos flasks.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Right, do you know we've chatted about charities before, haven't we?
Sure, yeah.
Done a lot of stuff on that, right? It's coming back from Manchester, right? Got off the train at Euston,
Yeah.
right? Got off the train, walking through the busy bit and stuff. There's this fella stood there, right? Like a charity worker,
Yeah.
right? Nice looking fella, he's got his suit on, a tie and everything, quite respectable and that, right? Look down at his bucket, all money's been put in the bucket and that,
Yeah.
right? On the front of the bucket, right? It says collecting for the homeless at Christmas. Now, why can't they do that?
What, the homeless?
The homeless people. Why is some fella taking his time out, right? His own time where he could be at home. Why?
Some of us have got homes to go to.
Yeah.
Why? Do you know what I mean?
What, you think just give them the
well,
buckets?
what are the homeless people doing whilst he's doing that? Is what I'm saying. What have they got on the timetable?
Cut out the middleman. Cut out the middleman. Give all the homeless a bucket with homeless written on
For
it.
Christmas?
Yeah. No admin.
No? What
Just keep everything you get, mate.
do you think of that?
It's a brilliant idea.
What would prevent a homeless person and an entrepreneurial homeless person just getting a bucket and writing that on there
Could I
themselves?
suggest something? Hunger, some drug addiction, traumas, often mental illness, just possibly too depressed to get up, put a suit on and go to Euston Station with a nice bucket with some writing on it.
And then, right, I was thinking about that, right, and I was walking down the street in London with Suzanne, saw a little homeless, well, I didn't see the homeless bloke, right, I saw a leg, right, sticking out of a doorway. I thought, here we go, right, walked past it, right, you're not going to believe this.
Go on.
Homeless.
Yeah.
Chinese fella. I've never seen one of them. No, I'm not having a go, right? But have you ever seen? Do you know what I mean? That was a shock.
I
to me.
really don't think I have. I think he's got me there. I hate to say it, but I must say I can't remember ever seeing a homeless Chinese person. No.
No, I suppose you're right. Thinking about it.
Weird, isn't it?
I
Actually, I was walked past and I said to Suzanne, "Did you see that?" She went, "What?" I said, "Just look back there." She said, "What?" I said, "That homeless fella. Look back at him." She said, "What?" I said, "He's Chinese." And she said, "Yeah, good point."
Good point. Of course she did.
She said that to shut you up.
She didn't want to get into a conversation with you. Oh,
And what's
God.
your point, really? What exactly is your point? You're
No,
just
it's
perplexed
just
'cause
that
you've never
we
seen
were
it.
chatting about homeless and that, and I saw that, and I just thought, you know, I just found it a bit odd.
Right. Well, if you are perhaps based in America or Australia, Canada, have you ever seen a Chinese homeless person? This doesn't count to any listeners in China. But anywhere else, have you ever seen a Chinese homeless person? Podcast at rickygervais.com. If you have, maybe you've got a picture you can send us as well. So this is what we're looking for now. We're looking for how many Chinese homeless people can we find by, let's say, 2006. You know, January 2006, January 1st. How many Chinese homeless people have you seen? Rick, it's that time again. It's what the whole world is waiting for now.
Is it
every
Monkey
week.
News?
It is Monkey News. Please perform live the jingle.
Why'd you say that?
Well, I think we had a few people saying, "Oh, is that a pre-recorded jingle?" Yeah, like anything's pre-recorded.
No, it's different
Well,
every
we've got
week.
that technology.
I'll give it a big one, shall I?
Give it.
Oh, chimpanzee that Monkey News, you
There we go.
Right then, well, got an email from John. You know, if you've got any monkey news going on in your area,
Let us know. Podcast at rickygervais.com.
Oh, God, amazing!
just bung it on email. And this one's sent in from John. Don't know where he is. But do you know, like, they're running out of TV ideas and that?
They're running out of TV ideas.
Well, you know,
Are they?
they've done a lot of stuff. I mean, if you had to come up with a TV idea now, you struggle, don't you? Because every idea you come up with, it's kind of been done on it.
Sure.
Okay.
Right? It's like inventions and that. Right?
They're not
so-
getting monkeys to come up with TV ideas, are they?
Well, no, right? But there's a TV channel in Moscow, right? And I think they had a bit of bad luck or something, a lot of redundancies and that, right? And whoever was in charge of it got a bit mental and got rid of loads of people, right?
Yeah.
And they come in the next day and they were like, "Right, are we ready to go live?" and that. And someone comes running in with a clipboard saying, we haven't got any people left, right, to present.
Such nonsense.
Right. But I tell you what. Right, okay, carry on.
So he goes, "What?"
If just one employee turns out to be Simeon and is doing a good job, I'm never doing this radio show again.
So this TV channel, you know, it's having a lot of problems and that. They've got to go live, right? He's like, "What am I going to do?" Anyway, for some reason, right, there was a chimp knocking about.
For some reason, that's the key piece of
No,
information,
but
but we didn't get it. We didn't get it.
It doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't matter.
It does.
It doesn't matter. Imagine
Anyway.
if that was in a film. And they're going, well, I can't see where this plot go. Well, he's just there. He's just there.
So anyway, so he
some
sort of
reason.
says, get it in a suit, right?
Why?
So, because they're running out of ideas, the clock's ticking, they've got to go live with something.
What do you mean? What, he's
What, is it a
presenting?
news programme?
He's
Well, listen,
presenting.
Listen, it's a chat show. I'm not...
They can't
Again,
talk.
don't have a go at me, have a go at John, who sent this in.
Right,
And
be
this is,
quiet, let's hear it. Let's hear the end.
so anyway, so like I say, so they going live, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever. Chimp sat there on the chair. He was like, "Look, let's just get through tonight's show and worry about this tomorrow, right?"
What are you talking about?
Look.
So they've put a chimp in a suit. What was that handmade, or were the sleeves a bit short on him? You idiot! Think.
So anyway, it sat there, right? And they're going, "Right, here we go. Good luck, everyone," right?
Yeah.
Chimp's there.
What programme is this?
It's a chat show.
But whose chat show is it?
Well, it's the monkeys.
I like the fact that
It's the monkeys now, is it?
I like the fact that they put the chimp in a suit. It's like, no one's going to take this chat show seriously if he's not dressed up, if he's not smart.
Slovenly, look at that, slovenly ape.
So anyway, let's get to the point of it and that, right? So anyway, they go on, right? It's all going
Didn't
brilliantly.
happen. There's no way this happened.
Here's a fundamental
anyway.
question. How was the chimp asking questions?
Not sure about that bit, but all I've got is the stuff that was on the news site for this. Like I say,
But it's rubbish!
Yeah, but I've give you some facts. I've told you there's a TV channel in Moscow that's having problems, right? I've explained that.
No,
bit.
it's rubbish.
They've got rid of the presenters. The monkey sat there, right? Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm telling you, it goes all right.
It goes okay. In case you were worried, Rick.
He's sat there, right?
Absolute
They get to the first break. They're like, can't believe it, right? You know, viewing figures and that. They're loving it, right?
What? No, what? How did they know the viewing figures in the break?
Please do not interrupt the news.
What did the chimp
At
do in the
end of it,
first half?
They had a big guest on that week, and what
And what
have
did
you.
he do? Just talk to
was
himself?
They walked off.
So Cher comes on,
I'm
yeah.
not sure, but say if it is Cher, right?
No,
Right,
what-
the main gaffer is like going, oh, Cher's going to go mental at us, right, for putting
Say
on
it
with the
is.
monkey.
No, it is Cher.
No, it's
In
Cher.
his mind, it's Cher sitting there talking to a chimp in a suit.
So anyway, she
and they're
comes
filming
off-
it for Moscow TV, and the ratings are going through the roof.
Presumably there's a translator, because Cher doesn't speak either Russian or chimp.
So she comes off, right, and the bloke who's in charge is like, she's going to go mad. She's going to go mad here. She walks up, she goes, I love that. Right? She said that's one of the best interviews, right? So anyway, they decided, right, it went so well, kept him on. He's still there.
I love the fact that Cher was an idea that Steve threw up, and now she's going, I love that, I love that, I love that, Jim, get me back there. I want to go to Moscow, never mind. Unbelievable.
Don't have a go at me, have a go at John, but, you know, if you've got any monkey news, send it in.
Podcast at rickygervais.com.
From the creators of The Office, Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant. Extras, the first series, now on DVD.
Who are you?
Nobody.
What's that? Who?
Nobody.
That's right. Nobody. And who am I?
So the Starsky Hutch, I can never remember.
You are guaranteed an Oscar if you play a mentor.
I've just written a sitcom, but I wonder if you could give it to anyone you know.
Is there any nudity in it?
Well, it could be.
Men or women?
Either. Well, just women. Yeah.
I will make it so.
A painfully funny double disc. Extras on DVD now.
Thanks for listening. Happy New Year. Particularly to our friends at Positive Internet.
Oh, I hope those guys have a wild
They
time.
host this podcast and they do a brilliant job. Happy New Year to everyone around the world. And in particular, those guys at Positive Internet.
And also